Hey guys, it's Kimberly from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I'm going to show you how to take this Dr. Seuss ABC Fat Quarter Bundle and turn it into this awesome quilt. Download the free Big A Little A pattern at Fat Quarter Shop and get ready to sew because, as Dr. Seuss would say, there's fun to be done. We're going to cut our panel to 22.5 by 40.5 inches. I've ironed and starched my fabrics, and now I'm going to show you how you cut your 40.5 inch side. I'm using my 8.5 by 24.5 inch Creative Grids ruler because when I cut larger pieces, it's easier with a larger ruler. Our panel design is slightly wider than 22.5 inches, so I'm going to cut just about 1/8 of an inch into the design. Just line up your ruler and just cut all the way down the first side. Flip your panel around, then line up your ruler with the 22.5 inch mark on your ruler and just keep cutting all the way down. Fold your panel in half across the length. On each end, make sure your panel squares are lined up evenly, and since our panel needs to be cut 40.5 inches and we folded it in half, divide that number by 2, which is 20.25 inches. Line up your ruler and cut. The only fabric you need to add to your bundle are a background fabric and a binding fabric. From your background fabric, cut 4 2.5 by width of fabric strips. We're working with 9 fat quarters. We're going to cut these 7 fat quarters one way and the bare fat quarters another way since the prints run a different direction. So let's start with our bare fat quarters. The bare fabric is not printed straight, so we're going to cut each of our fat quarters one at a time. We're going to just find a point on the fabric that's consistent, so I'm just going to find the green bow. I'm going to put my ruler right on that spot and cut my first line. Then we're going to cut 2 4.5 by 8.5 inch rectangles and 1 6.25 by 20 inch rectangle. Then just repeat on your second bare fat quarter. From the remaining 7 fat quarters, cut 4 4.5 inch squares, and lastly, 1 12 by 20 inch rectangle. Now we're going to add our side border to our panel, and I'm going to teach you something that I do with all my borders. First, our border needs to be 40.5 inches, so I'm going to mark that with a pin instead of cutting it the traditional way. Then I'm going to fold this in half, mark my center. I'm going to mark my center of my panel. I'm going to put them together and I'm going to match the center and the sides, and I'm going to pin. Then just pin all the way throughout, get lots of pins. And then we're going to go sew, and today I'm using Aurifil Color 2000. Add both your borders, then press to the outside. Now trim off your excess border fabric. This is going to give you a much more accurate result than if you had trimmed before you attached your border fabric. Now use those same techniques to add your top and bottom inner borders. These borders should be cut 26.5 inches. To make your outer border, lay out 2 rectangles and 7 squares for each border. Watch the direction of your prints so they all face up and sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Use the same techniques as before and attach your outer border to your quilt center. And now we're going to make the backing. I've made hundreds of quilts over the years, and 95% of them have a single fabric on the back. So today I'm going to show you how to use your leftovers to make this piece backing that's going to take your quilt to the next level. Your first step in your backing is to sew 10 4.5 inch squares together for your center. Then sew 2 bare rectangles together like this. Now we're ready to piece our backing. Lay out your fabrics into sections, sew it together, press following the arrows, and you've pieced an adorable matching backing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because today was good, today was fun, and tomorrow we're going to make another one. See you next time.